Did you tell to your kids that you regret to have them?
Did I tell my kids I get to have them? No, I do think that they know.
Are you going to do that?
I mean, I think that they know that
because you are not honest.
Okay, right now I'm going to count to 30 because I don't like your energy at all, and I will decide whether
you don't like honesty. That is all what you don't like.
Right, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And here we have Hong Kong, 4% of the population, Singapore 6%, Taiwan 3%. This was between 1961 and 1971. And if we,
wonderful. It's a shame that it's only 4%.
No, this is fully against life. What you're saying.
Yeah. So what? That's right. So what?
So if you are against life, then you are Satanist.
I am. That's right.
If you are against life, then you are Satanist.
I am. That's right.
Satanic is against life.
Right. And so why is that bad? Why is it bad to be against
you
life?
Can't comprehend it because you have given up life.
No, I don't know why it's bad.
Exactly, because you are a Satanist. 60% of American households don't have children. You will be happy about this news.
Yeah.
If today we are even less than 1 billion people, you are happy about that?
Yeah, fine. Why not?
Okay.
Why should I not be happy about it?
But let me ask a simple question.
Yeah.
Have you given up life?
Have I given up life? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You've accused me of being dangerous. Yeah. In the last discussion, you said I was dangerous. Yeah.
No accusation. This is a fact.
Okay, it's a fact.
For life,
you're saying the fact that I'm dangerous. Okay.
No.
But
No. Don't put the words in our mouth. We say,
yes,
if you continue to tell people,
yes,
this illusion of antinatalism,
yes,
this is dangerous for life itself.
What you want is famine, cancer, blindness,
bullshit,
volcanoes, earthquakes, child abuse, poverty, war, depression, mental health problems, suicide, factory farming, the financial system, politicians,
you are a liar, and every lie is a curse.
Liars,
you will
judges, PR companies, floods, tsunamis.
Oh, you even need to read.
Go on
you even need to read, bro.
Forever, don't you?
You need to read.
That's what you want.
You need to read it up. You need to read it up.
Yeah, I wrote it before.
So dead in the head that you need to read it up.
Yeah, I wrote it before.
No, you are dead, Danny.
I mean, according to what you're saying, it's probably best for me to kill myself, right? Can you give me some
this is what you are saying.
How
this is what you are saying, Danny.
And you think I'm a danger in this situation, but actually, I think you are the danger. Okay. You and all the biophiliacs, right?
Okay.
Who suffer from the condition of loving life. Who suffer from the condition of loving life.
You have already given up life because the suicide, the one who suicide himself, he suicide first in the head, and then he do the act, right?
Yeah.
Well, but what you are doing with this antinatalism is against life, and this is pure satanic. This is the satanic agenda. If you are against life, then you are Satanist.
I am. That's right.
Do you know how to recognize the manipulation?
I think sometimes I'm like, yes, but I know that I don't think for myself, because how can anybody think for themselves?
Twisted mindset, brother.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
As you can see, Danny Shine 100% pro Eugenics, against life. That's satanic, he admitted. These are just some examples of what you will find in full length right after. Is not taken out of context. You will find the parts with the timestamp. You can compare what was really going on. We know Danny since 2013 from the Dark City Radio, where we had a couple of interviews with him. We know Danny since 2010, when with his the videos was this Love Police with this guy. Yeah, well, this guy was quite a shill. We don't remember his name. But well, he is celebrated as a hero because he confronted a lot of the police. So he have a lot of people who trust him, and that's why we are confronted him on a live show. On this one, we confronted him, and he cut off the live show quite quickly because they talk about like also asking kids why they are even born, why the parents have them, and the danger of questioning reproduction and so on. So it's like a kind of hidden eugenics. This is the whole movement of this antinatalism, to even say that it is a danger to create kids, and we should not make children, and no reproduction even for animals and so on. They really go very far. We may make another video about the whole thing, but that's exactly the whole eugenics agenda of the cabbalist. But in a new form, because people are like climate apocalypse, fears stopping people to have children. Yeah, and this kind of bullshit starts because they even say that life is harmed because we have to die. This is the whole Kabbalistic idea, the whole religious idea in a new form, like in a new age form and so on. So we confronted him on this live show, and he write to us, yeah. Hey, because we left a comment in the video with the contact. Hey there, lovely to hear from you. I do watch all your videos. You should know all true. I'm not entirely sure why. We also don't know. This was on the 9th of May. We let him a little bit time to think about it. We also have to say that we overtalk. We make shut up the liars, and that's why we overtalk. It have a reason why we overtalk. It's not just because we want like make chaos. It's really important to comprehend that if someone starts a story with a man with a beard who come from the north, we already know it is the Christmas man. You know who I'm talking about. So anytime somebody starts with a lie, we have to stop them. We have to catch them on the spot when they start to lie. That's why we talk over, and we don't do that just because we want to have the words or we want to say more. That is very important to say. He says he wants to make a film about it. He never made a film, and he will never do. So then he replied, "Hey Danny," we replied, "Hey Danny, we challenge you to debate this suicidal theory that you are talking about with people. Let's make a live show." Live. We want to do it live. He didn't want to make it live. "We have all the facts against the eugenics theory, and you should stop spreading if you really want to stop harm on Earth." Because he is vegan, he is like proposing stop harming, and he do harm through proposing this kind of bullshit. "We always appreciate the way you are making things, even not agree with all, but it is dangerous speech. People trust you, brother." So we tell him already. "Let us know when you want to talk live." Then he replied, "As a result of our conversation, I told my this was after the one was before. The one was after when we asked him, 'Will you tell your kid that you regret to have them?' That's well. As a result of our conversation, I told my 20-year-old son that I regret creating him, and that you thought that was satanic," to which he replied, "Not as satanic as having him in the first place." Can you see already how he manipulated his son? "Made me feel a little less guilty for having him." Wow. That's sick, yeah. That's really sick. And then Okay, in the end, we have had a long conversation. We will not publish that because he says some stuff about the kids. They don't want. He don't want to reveal. We respect that. No problem. He said already enough in the whole conversation. But we told him everything. Yeah, like in the video you will hear too. Okay, thanks. Have not read all these words you have written, and I'm not sure I will. Please do not contact me again. Yeah. So he judged everything what we are saying as dumb. This is how silly and how ignorant he is making things. But well, you check out his channel. Check out what antinatalism is and this whole movement that is growing more and more. Definitely to challenge the police, Danny is great. Yeah. But he is fully lost in satanic manipulated. He is now promoting completely eugenics, is completely against life. But usually is confronting police. Now he get confronted by us. Usually he say that he is just going where the truth takes him, or yeah. In this exercise, he completely failed by showing his real face behind his ever-growing frustration over years become more and more clear. So we let you with the 2.5 more hours of conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So, how do you want me to address you? What?
Jabba. Jabba is okay.
Jabba. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to tell people a little bit about yourself? I don't know. I mean, I met you many years ago, and I do follow your channel. I find it very interesting. It goes, I would say that it goes very, very deep down the rabbit hole, and I would say that you are what I'd like to describe as a proponent of alternative narratives rather than conspiracy theories. But would you like to just introduce yourself and tell people a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm never. I let other people describe what I'm doing. I like just to do what I like to do, and also just to say, I changed a lot of expressions during the time. So if you have a question about it, just ask about it. So I don't use the I anymore, and we just changed everything on we, because we just gave life a voice. That is what we mostly do all the day since we meet. That was 2013 on the Black City Radio, Dark City Radio, and you remember the question you asked your famous question, like, what is really going on, right? This question, I think, is famous and is really great because it gives a lot of possibilities to go into conversation with people. And well, my answer was life, reality, and truth is very simple, but we get used to, or we fall in love of complications. That is the answer that we would give to like what is really going on. And therefore, since almost 10 years now, we try to break it down really on the simplest way, and how life really works in itself. Now, this get very large, and like you said, we are not believing in any conspiracy theory. We make clearly the difference between stuff we can verify ourselves and stuff that we just have to trust blindly. on something like you challenge the police, what they believe that is going on, and you challenge them into what is really going on. I mean, this is huge what you made, and a lot of people around the world, they really they see you almost like a hero. Yeah. Yeah, and ourselves also, we really thought this guy, he have balls. And the thing is also, when people come with your videos, we always say Danny is great, but we don't have to forget that the police in England is quite different than the police that we are facing, or the people like facing in France. In Switzerland, they are quite, they're okay. Like you can really like maybe one of five is aggressive, but the other ones you can debate, you can discuss with them. So in England, when the first time I was in England, I was like, I don't exist. What is going on? Because here with dreadlocks and so on, they just watch. They're just watching at you. You are like the bad guy. And when I was in London, I just walked by a policeman, and I was like, shit, what will happen? Nothing. The guy don't even look at me, and that is also like kind of difference. And you see also the policemen, they are really. They are mostly cool. You had less really aggressive policemen. Mostly never. Would you agree with that? Like it was mostly security guys or who was more aggressive, or
Um, yes, I mean, there's definitely a better. I think that we are luckier here than elsewhere. I mean, I've been subject to police brutality for sure, and some of it I've got on. I've never released. When I was when I did this, there was a video called "Cyclist," but it was
yeah, this one I
police
saw.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he came to my house, and I've got the video of that. It was quite funny, but also quite serious. But my family won't let me release it because it's got them in it.
Okay.
So that was an example of brutality. And also, I think it's also to do with me and my, I've learned along the way that how to speak to them, to calm myself down, and I'm a well-spoken white male.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's plenty of people that have been subject to brutality of the police in the UK. But I, because of my training and the way I speak and what I say, and the fact that I'm male and white and older, I think probably also it makes it better for me.
And not so small either.
Yeah.
Of course. No, myself, they just throw us one time out of the car because we didn't want to make their business. This was the only time, but even then, the 5 minutes, there was like shaking. They was shaking, and I was just laughing, just just showing them that I was not aggressive and I was not responding on their aggressivity.
Right.
But otherwise, they never really. We always could calm down, and this is always what we do. We really show them that we are not a threat, that we don't want violence, we don't want harm, we don't want that anyone get injured or damaged, and this is almost what we always make them clear from the beginning. And from there on, they can't respond, because all what they really can respond is not really with arguments, but with violence. So.
I mean, I think that one of the best takeaways, the greatest takeaways, which I learned on the job from what I do, or the two greatest takeaways from what I do, which people can use in their lives with anybody, not just with the police, and that is to take a pause for 30 seconds before responding, and B,
closing the eyes. This is very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a very, very good technique that you can use with anyone, really. And B, the idea of playing the questions game, because it's the person that asks the questions that is the master of the conversation. And the questions always come with all sorts of assumptions. So that's what I've learned over the years. I don't get it right all the time, but if it, in general, if you're the one asking the questions, or if I'm the one asking the questions, then I'm in the driving seat, and the first person to answer the question, to answer a question, is basically lost the game. So those are the two takeaways for people in their lives, and if they ever have to approach police. But I wanted to move on to the main topic, which a lot of my viewers are, are sick and tired of, but I'm not. And I know that you have strong ideas and a strong opposition to my current.
Well, I saw the show yesterday. Maybe let me answer what the question you asked to the people, why the parents created me.
Yes.
I have a very clear idea about, and there's a huge difference why my parents created me and why I created children. My parents, they created me because they needed someone who continued their family empire. Yeah, there was a male, and this was a huge school of was the third generation, and I was supposed to make this school going on. Well, this school, a couple of years ago, the school completely broke down. They quickly realized, when they make me comprehend that I had to make the director of this school, that there will be no school in this school. We will make music, we may make art and anything, but no school. So they quickly comprehend that I was not the one they really expected to be. So my parents created is like a kind of ego extension. Yeah, they had the kind of purpose. They need a boy, because I had already 3 sisters, so it needed a boy to continue the old bullshit. When we created the children, we definitely created them that life goes on, to give life a possibility to have a witness more for life. And was, of course, in a certain way, it was ego, it was pressure and all this, but the children from the beginning was a gift. And they are my best teacher. They teach me everything that I know today, and also to challenge, to comprehend what is really going on with them, how we are destroying our children. Yeah, this whole educational stuff. Education means training of animals, and this is what we are learned to do with our children. So we really changed everything. What we saw was not correct, what our parents did. Now, to maybe start.
Can I just ask you, I just want to clarify a bit from the beginning of the story. So you're saying your parents they set up a school. Is that what you're saying? They set up a school?
No, my grandfather, he had a school. My father was he took over the school, and I was supposed to be the third generation of the direction of this school. So I was the
what
school
type
board.
Of school was it? Was it just a regular state school, or
no? It was a private school, and this was anthroposophic. You know anthroposophic?
Oh yes.
Okay. So it was. I grew up in this whole esoteric bullshit, and also with all Blavatsky and Steiner and all this stuff. But they didn't really teach us. This was the pervert kind of thing, because when you grew up in a religion or in a cult or something, you have your master, you have your guru, you have your script, you have your things. But they never told us. We saw the pictures of them, we knew the names and so on. But what I discovered, in 2000, that was 2014, I discovered that my parents, they never talked like we think, and they had all the script behind. So all what they told me and taught me and all this projection of life came from Steiner. It came from this whole thing. And when I confronted them with this whole thing, if they realize where this is alchemy, this is pure satanic Luciferian, big time deep shit. So if they realize in what kind of cult they were, so it's this school is kind of a hidden cult, like a hidden accepted cult in the society as private school. And this is very dangerous because you don't get full disclosure about why they teach you something. You think this comes because of they're good-hearted, yeah? But they had all the
I mean,
script.
I've always, you know, I don't know much about Steiner education, but I certainly considered it for our children. We didn't end up sending them there, but
The
you know,
good
I
part,
always looked like they certainly got they had some really good things about the
yeah. But
education,
I mean,
certainly improvement on the state education.
the good part is that every child is considered unique. So you can't put the same age, same thing. This doesn't happen in this school. So every child have like two grown up who look for it, not like only, but they see in a lot of grown up people who watch. And the whole school, you have we had like horses, cows, so we had the whole farm, we had printing, we had iron working, we had woodworking, we had all stuff. They did a lot of themselves. And the thing is that not all of them, they have all the script. So to you have to think about how you're going to deal with each children instead to put them just in one range and then deal with them after the script. This is the good part. So everyone who works there, they can express themselves and really try to make the best, and to instead to have some kind of pressure behind. This is really the great part of it. The other part is that the teaching itself is the ground script, how they get taught doesn't come from their own heart or their own reflection. And this is huge. And I mean, Steiner, he wrote so much. It's like about everything, about everything, how to grow food, how to live, how to think, to eat, everything. So it's large. It's kind of, of course it's better because I had a lot of contact with nature. We really could. And also, like, if mathematics was, we didn't could handle it, then we could go to the teacher and say we would like to go to work on the farm or with wood or something like that. So all these kind of things, of course, is great, but in the end, you don't get full disclosure of what is really behind the whole thing. And that is very dangerous, because if you are like, if you go in a Jesuit school or so you can study the Jesuit, what they really do, and then you can get away from it. But in a way that we never get full disclosure, or that this thing always came through a person that we trusted. So we didn't have that kind of filter about it.
Right. Okay. So coming back to your children, you were saying that you were just you were saying that you had your children. Just wanted to bring you back to that. Carry on. Yes.
Yeah. So our
how many children? How many children do you have?
Two daughters.
And how old are they?
14, and it's changing every year, so I have to remember. And almost 20 now. So they're like 5 years apart. And we just saw that the whole education and all what we did with the children was completely different than what we get from our parents. Completely, 100%. Everything, we questioned everything, and we never saw an issue that the children was never an issue. The issue was always a consequence of something that we put in. So it's like people call it action reaction. We call it more action consequences. So every action have its consequences, and what we are living in today are the consequences of our own thoughts and so on. So the difference between how I was created, how I was beaten, how I was threatened, or how they pushed me like in a kind of thing is not the same at all what I'm doing with the children today.
Did you send your children to school?
I don't have the legal thing about for the children, so I just have to do what the mother is want to do. So yeah, they are still in. The little one is in school. The other one is out now.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would never send them to school. I even took them out once when they get threatened by like bullied and stuff in the school. We just took them out and told them this is against the good being of the children.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is that you brought the children into the world. Can you just go back to that part of what you were saying? The reason why you brought these two women into the world. Why did you bring them? I mean, I think it's, by the way, I just was taking note that I think it's quite unusual that you actually consciously thought about it, because I didn't. And most of the people I speak to,
yeah, fully agree.
They haven't even thought about why they're doing
fully
it.
Agree. Yeah, and that is
and I'm sure you'll agree that well, maybe you won't, but I suspect you will. You know that part of what I'm doing here, yes, I do have a very extreme position on this, but you know, I do often say when I'm speaking on the streets or wherever that you know, that having children, bringing people into the world is definitely, as far as I'm concerned, the most important decision by many degrees that anybody can make, and that surely, you know, everybody before they do it should think about why they're doing it.
And the thing is, well, today children just happen, yeah. They just have party, and then the child just come, and then they start to think about the child, and then it's the birth, yeah. For the most of the fathers, this is where the thing starts.
Yeah,
we knew, or we felt already on that moment, that the child is not created on the date of birth, yeah, and not the moment when you have to say sexual act. The child is created way earlier, is when you start to think about it. So let's say in this, how we see it, yeah. A child is our image until it get conscious on the age of 5 and 6. So the child is not really himself. It can be himself. He could feed himself. It is part of us. It is part of our image, our projection, our reflection, or what we call it, a dream. So every thought is a dream or a nightmare. It matters if we think in creation or if we think in destruction. So the difference also between feelings and emotion is very important, because the emotion are the manipulated feelings and are not natural. So it is conditioning that makes emotion. So the emotion is like the roller coaster, yeah, and the feelings is what we can feel, sense. This is real, and this only happen in the moment, right here, right now. So everything what comes early when we create a child, it is our dream of life that we put into the child. So the child is the result of our dreams, like everything what we are doing. Everything starts with a thought. We start how we feel about it. We maybe talk about it, or we take an action. So all the whole process of what we are doing all the time is always the same. But the problem is that our thoughts are already conditioned. So, of course, the feeling gets emotion, the word gets spells, and the action is destruction. So this is how all the time we are million times in a day we have the same process, and every time we exhale this water that creates life and the projection, and we give into the life, and life it creates exactly what it is. Everybody hears about this law of attraction. Yeah, this kind of law of attraction. The problem is that the guys who create the book The Secret, you know the book The Secret, you hear about, they are all in court against each other about millions. They, you know. So this is the funny result, and this is exactly the result of law of attraction. Because yes, you attract everything, but you also wear the burden of your attraction. So if you want to get a Ferrari, if you want to get a big house, you will get it. But all the problems with it. So if you ask life that you have a Ferrari or a house, life will give you, but you have to pay for it with your life. And this is exactly how the system works. Anytime we give something into the system doesn't function with our life energy. This is all what it is. Yeah, the system is not the bank, it's not the politic, it's not this thing. This is the thoughts, programs in each one that makes the collective system. So anytime we think about this kind of corrupt thought, we start to corrupt our action, words, feelings, and action. And every time we breathe out life, creation, or we destroy the destruction. So there is not such thing as God or devil, but people can get very aggressive. Where did they get it from? And if we see if somebody is stressed out, if somebody gets aggressive, he always have a past trauma that is mixing up in the actual situation because he is fearing of something, emotion, conditioning that makes him scared to go forward and is blocking him the way of the moment. Yeah, this is what everyone gets anytime we have like a kind of extreme situation. Yeah, do you keep it calm? Do you breathe? Yeah, I mean, only the breathing, we have forget to breathe. A baby is only breathing in the belly. And as soon as we start to breathe, oh, there is no air. So as soon as we are more calm and we are not in the emotion, we are like calm, we can breathe in the belly. But if we run, we have to run from the lion. We are not thinking, we are going straight. Yeah. So when we want to think and really be in the calm and reflect what we are thinking about, we have to breathe in and out. And this is what life creates. But I write something here about the antinatalism, because this is mostly the what we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And where I think people have to take very much, this is dangerous stuff, because I don't know what to say, but I will just write the thing that I just write today, to put it in maybe in the perspective of what we think about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So antinatalism is the resignation of comprehending life itself. It is the consequence of permanent deception, conditioning, and mental, physical, logical, sensory manipulation. Antinatalism is the result of mental suicide from social engineering.
Mental suicide, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mental suicide from social engineering. It is a cabalistic, satanic, twisted, deceived idea, because there is no life without man experience life. Nobody experience absence of man, woman, child on earth. Therefore, nobody can claim there is life without man, woman, child on earth. This would mean there would be no more life at all, no animals, no air, no forest, no mountain, no sea whatsoever, if man would not experience life. If this is true, and we would extinct man, experience life on earth, there's no going back, there's no life, there's absence of everything. And this is exactly the idea of what they call Satanism, is also this whole cabalistic idea to grow through darkness, to go to the light, to find the oneness. And after the oneness is the zero. And the zero is the chaos. Chaos means nothing, the emptiness. And where they think that the bird of, how they call it, the phoenix, can grow out of the ashes. This is the whole idea and the Kabbalistic idea of life itself. So they think because everything comes from nothing, this is already no proof for that, because everything comes from something. But the religious idea is that everything comes from nothing. So they call it the universe or God's word, to create the universe, one word, or the unique word, or the uniqueness, or the thing. This is what they call, and what they see now today in Baphomet. This is what the Templars see in Baphomet. Not female, not male, so above, so below. This is the whole concept, how they think was Adam and Eve was created. So this is the whole Masonic, satanic, witchcraft idea of life itself. And we have studied that now for 10 years, and this is a very nasty and twisted idea. We know where this idea comes from. The problem is the atheists or the religious are both believer that something starts with nothing, right? And there is no third option. You believe in God, or you're atheist and you believe in the Big Bang and the evolution theory. There is no third option at all. But if we verify life, what we have today, there is no such thing as a beginning or an end. So there never was a beginning. But there is only an end if we accept the beginning. Because if we accept the beginning, people say that when you die, it's the end. So birth is the beginning. That's bullshit. When you look at tree, where would be the beginning or the end of a tree? Would it be the seed, the root, the trunk, the leaf? Where is the beginning of the tree or the end? If a leaf falls from the tree, it doesn't die. It becomes earth so that other trees can grow.
So well, it does die. I think it does die. I think it does die, and then it changes form, just like humans do.
So this would be again, but then we have to declare where exactly. Is it dead when it falls from the tree, or when it's on the floor and start to rot? At what is the moment of death?
You see, the problem I have with all that you're saying, it is interesting, and it would probably take me quite a long time to really try and understand it and comprehend what you're saying. It's funny that you said that, at the beginning, that people complicate things when actually things are very simple. The way you're talking to me sounds like very complicated.
Okay.
So and the ideas that I have been sharing, which and the reason why I'm even talking to you, and the reason why I talk to lots of people is because it's not it's not a very antinatalism is not a very it's not a very popular idea. It's seen as a very pessimistic idea. It's not a great, it's not a lovely. It's not like I'm not like really happy that I've come across these ideas. Yeah, and so I am open to them being challenged. I'm very open to them being challenged, and I've been wrong about a lot in my life, and maybe I'll be found out to be wrong about this. However,
how you came across about, can you maybe your listeners hear a bit about, but how you came across about this idea?
Yeah, it's interesting actually. It's interesting that it took me till I was 50 to actually come across this idea, even though the internet, has been around for a long time. But I came across it. I think it really kind of, because I was a vegan, because I became vegan. Although I don't really like to call myself anything at all, really. I don't even like to call myself an antinatalist, but I stopped eating meat and animal products about 4 or 5 years ago, and I did that because my son who made that decision first when he was 8, and I followed him, and I think from there it started to open my eyes up. People would ask me, yeah, but what about all the suffering of animals out in the wild? And I started to think about that, and then I came across this wild, crazy guy called In Mendham. I don't know if you've seen any of his videos, but he created his own term that he calls himself. I don't call myself that or anything really. I try not to call myself anything, but he calls himself an ethicist, which he made up that term. Which is life spelt backwards, and his arguments, which I think are very powerful and very clear, and quite extreme as well. He has some things that he says that are very questionable. So I don't really I don't really have much to do with him, but I have listened to a lot of what he has to say, and it seems to make a lot of sense to me. So I came across him and his ideas, and that's how I got introduced to the idea of antinatalism, through him. He's a guy, he's got a YouTube channel, and he's created hundreds and thousands of videos, and he still does. And that's how I came across it. And since I've come across it 3 years ago, I've been talking a lot about it in public. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people about it, and so far I haven't found anybody that's been able to make anything even close to a good argument against the arguments of antinatalism. And I want to sort of bring you back. Yeah, I mean, yes, we can go back to what you're saying, but I think it would take a long time. And I think maybe I'm not sure.
There's just one thing. There is no life without man experience life. Yeah.
Well,
can we the question, if this is the result of anti-natalism, is if there is no human on earth, they think that life would goes on. You say you are vegan, and if we would kill all animals, all life on earth, then this would not be very vegan, right?
Well,
this is an argument.
Firstly, I personally think that I think that it's possible that we're living in some kind of simulation. I think that is possible. Yeah.
And where's the fact?
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if we are or not. But I think it's possible we're living in a simulation. And for the sake of argument, let me just explain why I brought that up. Right?
Yeah, but this is the same what you are doing when when a policeman come to you and he tell you that you have to move from here because his idea, we also say this is not really an argument, right? He have to prove his claim. And that's why this claim is very important. Exactly, this claim is very important. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, leave that. I'm making that claim for a reason, which is much more important. I'm not making that claim saying this is how it is. I'm suggesting. I'm saying let's imagine it was that we're in some kind of game, right? Some kind of game.
I personally, no, but Danny, I personally,
I need to explain to you what I think about life.
Yeah, but this is rabbit hole stuff, you know. I mean,
one second. Let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can come back to me and ask me whatever you like. Yeah. I'm explaining to you the very fundamental building blocks of why I am opposed to reproduction. What I think was that whatever or whatever force created physical sentient life, to me, I cannot see that force as being anything other than evil or misguided or autistic or something. Okay. Because if I was given the tools to create physical life or to create life, yeah, I would never dream of creating beings that could feel intense pain and suffering. I think that is a terrible idea.
Why?
I think sentience is a terrible thing because people or beings experience excruciating pain and suffering.
Well, but this is arguments. This is arguments on you know, this hypothesis, theory, and we stock layers on that, and we can't do that. You know, if we want to go to reality, and I mean, at the end, you are talking about, and people take this serious, that they should not make babies, and I mean, this is very dangerous stuff because.
Why is it dangerous? Why is it dangerous? We haven't even dealt with you, right? I personally don't think we've got far enough at all in examining why you brought your children into existence. Yeah, you say you brought your children into existence. Why?
That life have more experience to be experienced. That is what we are talking about.
But life should be more experienced.
Look. I tell you, I can tell you what is really going on, and you tell me if you can prove it wrong. Because if you tell me that I have to go into the rabbit hole that we are living in a kind of virtual reality, this is real. This is kind of excuse to escape reality, to pretend that reality is a virtual reality, and that somebody intelligent had to create that. No, I mean, this is a kind of resignation of what life is. But one argument you have brought in, that life in nature is cruel. There is not a single animal in nature who do harm. This is exactly where we, in our corrupt mind, think that a lion who is eating an antelope, that he is cruel. And this is the kind of mindset, that's the reversed mindset of a lot of vegans, that suddenly, because they have eaten a lot of harm is done to animals by man, this is completely different than what the animals is doing in wild. Now, give me just one example. The wolves here in Switzerland or so, they have some wolves, and all the farmers, they are now, no, we should not have the wolf, but the wolf was here before the sheep. So because the wolf, what he is doing, he just killed the sheep. He doesn't eat them. Why? Because the wolf is there to maintain life. This is completely different idea than to destroy life. Man is destroying life, but animal is never destroying life whatsoever. Life in itself, it's always regulating itself. So to say that if a lion, we don't even know why the lion is choosing which calf or which antelope that he is choosing, because we have lost the sense to even see if one of these animals maybe are sick, and they maybe would just extinct the whole tribe or whole troop. Yeah. So this is always like based. It is always based on hypothesis, and we don't do that. We don't take a theory and try to make an argument over a theory and over another theory. So the end result of is saying, yeah, maybe we live in a virtual reality. That's why, because we live in a virtual reality, we have to stop making children. I know this is shortcut. I know it's shortcut. I know it's
reality.
I know it's shortcut.
This is not part of. This is not part of what. This is not a major part of the argument. Part of my argument is, and I'm coming is that there is a huge amount of suffering and pain in the world.
Yeah,
and
but why?
Necessary.
Yeah, but there's a reason
None of it
for
is
that.
necessary.
But this is a reason.
Why,
this is manhood. This is not life.
Why is there
life
pain
doesn't
in the world?
do harm to anyone.
It's because sentient beings can feel pain and they can suffer.
No,
and all of it is unnecessary.
This is
what
a claim.
is the point of it all?
But this is a claim.
What's the point of it?
This is a claim. I don't feel any suffering since 2014, when we start to take full responsibility about our own thoughts, our words, our feelings, and our actions. And we stop participating in any harm. This is what we're doing. And we don't suffer if we don't harm life. But this starts with every thought. This starts with every word, with every feeling. No more emotion, not happy, sad, and victim, I don't know what. This is taking full responsibility. And then all harm stops.
Yeah, really?
Well, and this is true, and we prove it.
No, it's not true. Because everything you do, there is harm involved in it.
Okay.
Even our discussion right now. Right.
Okay. Why?
We're using technology that is built by all sorts of people.
Okay. Now we are using the system to get out of the system. We agree that there is a lot of harm around, but we will not stop harm if we continue to just accept that there is harm or try to find an excuse for the harm that is going on. Every harm that is going on earth is a curse people processing, because every lie is a harm. Every harm is a curse someone have. If we destroy life, and we are the responsible for destroying life. That's why the people are suffering. The people don't suffer because of nothing, and they have the full responsibility to realize that all the harm that is going on in their own life is their own action. This is the real suffering. And if people just say, oh no, we have to change different things without taking full responsibility, but without full responsibility, the shit is just hitting the fan more and more. And this is exactly what we see right now. This is what is going on. This is a general psychosis of ego, of emotion, of fear, of lies, manipulation, and this is going on for centuries. So this is social engineering. This thought, these theories that you bring up, this is social engineering. So I have a question. Do you think there is an overpopulation?
What do you mean by that?
Do you think we are soon 8 billion people on Earth?
I don't. I think that
Or is this not the argument of anti-animal?
I think all population is overpopulation.
Okay, but let's just.
And I think
the
that, you know,
official?
I think that it's I think that, you know, all these people being born every day, there's more people, that more people are competing for resources. There are more, you know, there are more people that are going to be subject to all sorts of illnesses. There are more people that are going to be subject to all sorts of abuse. There are more people that are going to be. There are more people that are going to be.
Okay, but where
there
do
are
you
more people.
do you?
There's
Okay.
you know there's
Okay.
a couple of billion people in the world that have got
Okay.
very little. You know, they haven't got running water, and they haven't got, you know, they're on.
Danny, how much country
wages.
did you visit?
It's just madness.
How much country did you visit?
Quite a few.
How much?
I don't know how many, but probably 30.
So, do you see an overpopulation?
I don't need to visit countries. I've got the internet. I can see.
No, this is the problem. If you don't see it,
I go regularly watching other people. You know,
I visit almost
go online and watch other people visit.
No. This is a huge difference. It's a huge difference, and we visit almost 50 countries. And before we went in a country, we always checked what we were finding on internet, and then we verified on place and talk with the people. And this is a huge difference, And what we get out of the media, that there is so much people, there's so much people. Just a simple calculation is, maybe there is 8 times more people than 100 years ago in the cities, but this would mean we also have 8 times more people on the countryside, right?
I don't know, but
if we are 8 times more,
it's not of interest to me. What I know is that there's a shitload of people here.
But you never go into any argument.
A lot of them are living in desperate conditions, and you know, and they're just, people are just popping out children left, right, and center, completely unconsciously.
But you generalize things, and this is not an argument. Then you can't just generalize things, because this is not just people popping out people. I mean, this is how you have now constructed your thought about it. But let's just, a simple question. Do you think we live on hell? Or, by the way, do you have any fraternity behind you, any religion, every dogma? What, or is this coming all from your own perspective?
I mean, everything's comes from, you know, other people's, you know, partially from other people. I didn't think this up myself. I'm not part of
verify the influence we have.
I'm not part of a religion. There's no religion that I know that I'm part of. Although there were, you know, there have been religions that have kind of been, like, for example, the Gnostics. But
you don't think that there is any kind of stuff left, influence left?
What influence of the Gnostics left?
Of anything. I mean, today, the question of mostly for you, because you like to think, and you want to think for yourself, right?
Yes, but I know that I don't think for myself, because how can anybody think for themselves?
Well, we can think for ourselves. Why we have always need to use stigmas, or why we have to use other things? Why we can't think for ourselves? Most important thing is on what kind of questions we are holding on, and where are this influence really coming from? I mean, if we can't verify that, then we don't think for ourselves. I mean, we can verify thoughts.
Well, I'm not, to my knowledge, part of any religion. You know, I mean, I was brought up with Judaism, but the antinatalism is very controversial, and very, you know, it's not. Judaism is a very natalist religion. It encourages reproduction, so. You know,
it depends for who, yeah. Because if you look like what is actually really going on, we have depopulation. We have a huge depopulation going on, and the numbers we are seeing.
What does that mean? What do you mean we have depopulation? What do you mean?
We have huge depopulation. Let me just show you something here. I have a document here. How can I do that? I'll share the screen here. Share the screen. Okay, I can't share the screen. So we have a huge depopulation. I have a document in front of me. This is Natural Security Study Memorandum from the Kissinger report from 74. I can send you the link and we can put it in the description if you want. But we have in 74, 60 to 70, we have already a list of countries here who have up to 4-5% depopulation. Now, if we really look what is going on here, we have Hong Kong, 4% of depopulation, Singapore, 6%, Taiwan, 3%. This was between 1961 and 1971. And
Good.
if we,
wonderful. It's a shame that it's only 4%.
No, bro. Yeah, you know.
Why do we need people? Why do we need?
No. This is fully against life. What you're saying.
Yeah. So what? That's right. So what?
If you are against life, then you are Satanist.
I am. That's right.
So you're in a fraternity.
I'm opposed to sentient life. I think sentient life is a terrible, terrible idea. So, right?
Then you should be clear
because the price of it is too high. The price of living a sentient life is too high. There are too many people who are in terrible, terrible pain and suffering.
But why?
Over the years,
look, bro.
But terrible atrocities. There have been terrible natural disasters, and people have suffered, and their people have been in pain, and there's no good reason for it.
So so you talk about feelings. So you talk about feelings when you talk about.
Now hold on a second. You may claim that you haven't suffered since 2014. Well, yippee for you, wonderful. But you are extremely unusual.
No.
Yeah. 99.999% of the people,
but we are not
like you.
We are not responsible. But it is irresponsible. We can't be responsible for other people.
Many of them have experienced tremendous suffering, will experience tremendous suffering.
But because they didn't take responsibility then.
Fine. It doesn't matter whether they didn't take
It matters a lot.
If they wouldn't have been,
they are not victims.
They wouldn't have been born.
They are not victimized.
If their parents would have thought a little bit about it before they shagged each other, if they wouldn't have been born, then they wouldn't have to take responsibility. Right?
Well,
and I would say to you that I personally haven't reached your level. I haven't taken full responsibility, and therefore I suffer as well.
You haven't reached.
No,
but
I haven't. Right? Because
but this is not excuse.
I don't have the ability. I have.
You have. Everyone have the ability.
No, I don't. I haven't up until now. I haven't.
Why?
And everyone I know, I don't know anybody.
But I know a lot of people who take responsibility.
I don't know anybody like you, and therefore, the overwhelming majority of sentient life is experiencing pain and suffering.
Yeah, but
some of them
in all your videos, even today in the afternoon,
let me finish.
Today in the video,
some of them are experiencing right now. There are people all around the world.
You're contradicting
who don't have access to painkillers. There are people. Your descendants. The people, your great grandparents and their great grandparents. They might have been through the most excruciating pain.
Danny, this is bullshit, complete bullshit.
Okay.
You are now like morally saying people are suffering, and you are even agreeing that people are more suffering.
I can't have a conversation, Jabba. I'm not going to continue the conversation with you if you keep interrupting me. I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah, but you have made your point.
You'll keep interrupting me.
Yeah, but let me
interrupt me,
Danny, because what you're doing is pure Satanism. This is completely. So are you in your fraternity?
Okay, I've had enough. I don't want to have a conversation with you.
But tell the people that you are Satanist, Danny.
Okay, fine. I'm a Satanist. Bye. We'll have another conversation when you're ready to have a proper conversation.
You don't want to talk. You just want to preach.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a fight with you.
Yeah, I don't fight.
I feel
this is argument. You are saying people don't make an argument, but you don't listen to the arguments, and you don't go into the argument because you want to keep, you want to maintain.
I'm trying to say something, and you are speaking over me.
Exactly, because you have to stop. You have to stop that bullshit. If you don't want to take responsibility, then it's this free choice. But this is not your victim. You are not victim, Danny. This is bullshit. And tell the people that you are against life. Tell them, because this is pure Satanism. This is exactly why the world is going on like you describe the world today.
You can call it all the names you like.
It's not a name. It is what you are doing. It's not a name. You are against life.
Yes.
This is killing life, but you are killing life with this.
No, I'm not killing life. I'm not killing life. I'm just suggesting that we shouldn't be
and I'm making you responsible for the life
we shouldn't be creating
through this argumentation.
We shouldn't be creating more
and I will publish this video.
And you still haven't answered
entirely. I will publish this video, and I will even cut my part, and I will talk you that we even have a double video so the people can listen to it. But you have exposed yourself right now, Danny.
Fine, okay.
Are you in a brotherhood?
Am I in a brotherhood? Not that I know of, no.
Okay, but why you are making your own brotherhood by manipulating people, by telling them bullshit that they have to suicide themselves? Because this is mental suicide.
Okay,
this is not accusation, this is fact, Danny. I'm telling you, you have to take responsibility because you are manipulating people if you tell them that life is bad. People have to take responsibility to stop making their life bad. This is what is going on. But if people just, oh no, I don't have the possibility to take responsibility, this is a fucking excuse. Everybody can. Why my kid with 14 cannot do it? And she do it since 6 years now. She took full responsibility for all her thought, for all her feelings, for all her words, for all her action. Why can you not do it with 50? Because it is the influence that you are attached to. This is what is going on, and you know that it is like that. But to tell people now, people trust you, Danny, and make you full disclosure that you are against life. And look who is against life. This is Satanism. And I'm not calling you name. This is what you are doing. Yeah? And you have proved it by yourself, because the ones who are destroying life today are in the same mindset than you, Danny. And that's why a lot of people are suffering. And this is indoctrination, true indoctrination. This is true, maybe Judaism, maybe the YouTube videos that you're watching.
No, the reason people, I disagree with you. See, I would say,
you can disagree, but prove it wrong.
The reason people are suffering is simply because their parents created them in a world where there is pain and suffering. That's why they're suffering.
No, that's not true.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's not true.
That's the reason why they're suffering, because they wouldn't be suffering if they weren't.
But who creates the world like how it is today? Are you blind to see that there is a huge network of huge Freemasonry, of huge Satanism, of witchcraft? Can't you see it? Every violence, every lie, all what we are seeing today is part of this whole thing. This is engineered that people think how you are thinking today. You are engineered. These thoughts are not coming from you, Danny. And this is dangerous stuff. This is why people are not waking up. Because promoting this kind of thing is exactly the contrary of what we are using today. A lot of people looking up to you, Danny. This is why I'm making this video, to tell you the responsibility that you have, and make full disclosure. Tell the people how you see really the things. Instead, that was the perfect moment to make it live, to tell all the people what you really think. This is dangerous stuff. And personally, I have my
I don't
responsibility at
understand
least
why
to
you
tell
think
you
it's
because I have the
why is
occasion
it
to tell
dangerous?
you.
Why is it dangerous?
Because it's suicide. You have accepted that.
What do you mean it's suicide? What do you mean by that?
Well, have you comprehend life? Have you comprehend death? Why suicide? Why the word suicide does derange you? Why it does disturb you? If you accept already that life is bullshit, think about it. Yeah, because you are trying to make a moral that people are suffering, but through what you are saying, people will suffer even more because this is the agenda they are putting up. You are even clapping your hand if I'm telling you that we are maybe today we are even more close to the 500,000 people they are putting on the guidestones. This is dangerous. And the thing is, today a lot of people are dying. The ones you say the people are suffering, but what is going on? This agenda, the thoughts, they are not your thoughts, Danny. You say it yourself, you don't know, and were influenced. But these thoughts is the mental suicide, exactly this whole cabalistic bullshit want to do on earth. And we know with who they want to do it.
That you are, I would describe you as someone who is very, very deep down a rabbit hole. Yeah.
But no, I'm not in the rabbit hole. I'm with, no, but this is wrong. No, but this is a wrong judgment. I can't let stand. I can't let stand this wrong judgment. A rabbit hole is when you fall down and you don't come up again. We are not in the rabbit hole. We are with 2 feet on earth and we are observing everything. We are analyzing everything. And we are not in a rabbit hole where we don't see what is going on. We see everything what is going on. We take everything in account. And if you can prove that there is life, no, you don't even need, because you hate life. I mean, this is difficult to make an argument. If you think that life is a burden, that is exactly, but this is the Jewish idea, sorry to tell you. Hell is on earth. Yeah, this is the Kabbalistic idea. Hell is on earth. And we have to go in paradise, we have to kill our life. This is hundreds of years alchemy, Kabbalistic idea that is put in people's head. This doesn't come from you. And you admit it because you don't know where the influence is coming from. We had a lot of stuff. We have, since 10 years, almost, no, more than 10 years, we have scrutinized the whole internet. We have listened to David Icke. We have listened to all these conspiracy theories all around the world. And we have challenged all of the ones. We have confronted them. A lot of them we have confronted because there was always a lot of truth, and this part of bullshit, they had manipulated all the people. And we know that. I was superstar, Danny. I know what is happening when you have a YouTube channel and people are coming and they want to do something and they are reacting. And we know exactly how this is going on. Yeah. We know what it means to be a known person in the street. We live that now for 30 years, and it is not pleasant. The projection that the people put in you. So we know what is going on. That's why we didn't fall into that rabbit hole to be like non-conspiracy or this or that. No, we really analyze everything, what is really going on. And you say nobody have the arguments about this idea, but you have already made your mind up. You don't want to hear any arguments that it is not logic.
That's not true. I've not made my mind up.
Oh,
I've
you
not
have.
made my mind up, but I will.
Oh, to a certain degree, you have already made your mind up that life is suffering.
What I will say is that I think that we as human beings are it's extremely difficult to even notice our own logical fallacies and our own cognitive biases. So I'll speak about my own cognitive biases, right? So in other words, what I would say is that I how can I put this? Is that if I speak without if I detach myself from my emotions, yeah, if I'm able to try and be just logical about things without the emotion, without emotional attachment behind it, I would say that I haven't made my mind up about anything, because I'm aware that, you know, that I've been wrong many, many times in the past, and therefore I would like theoretically to be open to any mistakes that I've made, and to be open to the truth, whatever it is. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm also aware, and I became aware of this very, very long time ago. I am aware that I get that as a human being, I get emotionally attached to ideas. Yeah, and I have been, and I've noticed that a long, long time ago, and lots of other people do as well.
But this is changeable.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying.
So why stay attached?
That's why I'm having the conversation with you, right? I'm having the conversation with you because I would like to think that once I get beyond emotion, I can challenge my thinking and maybe rethink things. Okay, and you know, I might do that as a result of this conversation, and maybe we'll have another conversation. And you know, it's possible that I will change what I'm saying, so what I'm thinking, right? So I would disagree with you that I've completely decided that this is how things are.
No, but you on certain points.
In the last few years, what was that?
On certain points, you have made your mind up, like that the wild animals are suffering.
I haven't made my mind up about anything. I haven't made my mind up completely about anything.
You have to be more honest with that, because you would not have an emotional reaction without.
What I have done is that up until you know, for the last 3 years, I've been speaking to lots of people about these ideas, and nobody has been able to give me a good counter argument to these ideas. That they just seem to make a lot of sense to me. But that doesn't mean that you might, you know, maybe as a result of what you've been saying, I'll have a think about it and I'll change my ideas.
Well, this is not my purpose. It's not to make you change your mind. This is your responsibility. But I mean, if you want to base, if you really want to be open-minded, you have to let loose on every argument. So you have to question also that wild animals maybe don't suffer, or they are not making cruelty. Yeah. Maybe to just look really detached emotion.
It could be that wild animals are not cruel, yeah, but that I think that nature is full of cruelty.
Like what?
Well, like the you know, there are, like, I don't know much about wild animal suffering, but there are YouTube channels that are devoted to it, and they so for example, how do you know, animals might die in the wild from starvation. They might die from getting some disease, and they're just
do you have animals?
Wild. Pat? There are people and there are humans as well that, you know, on the planet, and there are people over the last thousands of years, you know, before the invention of painkillers and antibiotics and painkillers. There are people, you know, our descendants. Is it our descendants? I keep getting the word wrong. You know, our
ancestors.
Our ancestors, sorry. Our ancestors, you know, before the invention of painkillers, must have gone through the most terrible, excruciating pain.
Well, they had also way less illnesses, but
well, maybe and maybe not. But there is. It seems to me that that the world, as it's set up, and sentient life is set up. I just think I think, for example, the human body is a really badly designed thing. You know, it's just really badly designed. It's very clever in some ways, in other ways, it's just incredibly ridiculous. You know,
Why?
It's ridiculous for example, just to give you one example, it's ridiculous that that when your that teeth can decay and that they can create the most excruciating pain. Okay. Right? instead of
why?
instead of
But
regrowing.
chimpanzee, they never have teeth problems.
Well, I don't know if it's true that no chimpanzee ever had a
No,
tooth.
the thing is what we are doing, like with all the fluoride, with all the sugar, with the salt, with all this processed food and so on, our teeth get really bad. This is what the result of bad teeth. And I fully agree. I have no original teeth no more since my age of 20. But really,
Oh, I was wondering why your teeth look so good. They look so good.
yeah, and it will fall out also very soon. But so I will shut up my mouth then. That's very good. Now the thing is, you said because of the wild animals. Do you have pets, cats, dog? You have a dog. I have here. You have a dog.
Yeah.
Do you have noticed the dog? He is always when he is good, he's good. When he is not good, he's not good. But he doesn't remember before. We have this burden. Humans have the burden of what you call sentiments. Yeah.
Sentience.
Yeah, this is human have that problem if you want, but it is exactly because we are not supposed to create destruction, and that's why we have it. It is not to use it, it is to not have it. The problem is that everything from food to education to things get all destroyed since a couple of hundred of years now, and there is the burden. But life, I grew up in nature, that's why we don't see the cruelty in nature at all. I never saw that because I lived in nature. Have you made a walk in the forest in the middle of the night alone? Have you already done that?
No.
You see, this is how close I was living in nature. I can walk now just outside, straight up into the forest alone without anything. And I can find myself what is going on. I have no fear, nothing. But do it one time. Just challenge yourself to go into a forest in the middle of the night just to walk. And you will see where is the danger, where is the cruelty. We don't see the cruelty in a baby. We don't see the cruelty in any kind of nature. We don't see it. So the thing is, nature itself, we know, and we thought the same. We had the same thought, why nature is so cruel, until we comprehend. It is about a story about a bird who have 2 eggs every year, and only one of them will survive. Now, the question is, does this bird love one or the other more than the other? Only because she know that one of two will die. She loves both. But she's unconditional towards life. That's why death is not part of life. Death is invention of man. Yeah. So life always continues. There is no beginning, there is no end, there is always here and now. And truth is always present in presence of life. All what we can confirm, verify is always here, right now. So life in itself is not the problem. The problem is what we have done with life to completely get lost and don't even know any, but the purpose of life is to live a life without destroying it. Can anyone?
I don't understand that. That doesn't sound like a purpose to me. What's the point of it?
Exactly. But this is the ego mindset. Why should be a purpose more than that? Every worm, every animal, every plant know exactly what to do. And we are just here. What if our purpose of life is just to be here and observe life without destroying it? Because it would not make sense to destroy our own environment Otherwise, we would get sick, we would get mad, we would get lost, we would get completely confused or whatsoever. But this is what it life itself. But man, and this is the beginning of the system. When man thought he need to make something better. By the way, woman is man itself becomes before you man. You is the shadow of the man. So man is woman, child, and woman, man, and child. Man is what life, if female or male, doesn't matter. This is what man is on earth. So in this sense, nothing, we are not supposed to do anything more than that. But when somebody starts to think that they have to be more than that, all the problem starts. It is like the same question. What was there before? The chicken or the egg? And the illusion starts right away there. This is what we call a straw man argument, because you try to bring someone else in the rabbit hole so you can manipulate him and twist him, and he get completely lost and twisted. There was never a division between the egg and the chicken. There is no chicken without egg, and there is no egg without chicken. This is the logic answer of chicken and egg. And all these answers are just present here, but our mind gets so much confused. And this is exactly, I mean, the egg and the chicken is the perfect question. You just confuse people by asking them even a question. And this is the straw man argument where or it's the same like when somebody come to you and say, you are this, and then you have to defend yourself, or you go into the argument and start to get on the chessboard argument where you just play the guy before. There's something strange. You hear that? Okay.
No.
So there would not be any life if we would not be here to experience life. But this is exactly this satanic agenda to make us completely lost, that we are always trying to make to find an extension. Yeah, this is exactly what all this new age or this religion says, that we have to how they call it, evaluate our consciousness or something like that. Why? We just have to remember who we really are. And we are so lost because we don't know more who we are, what we are, where we are, what we are supposed to do and not. Yeah, this is a result of social engineering, and for hundreds of years. And maybe for some people who have a certain kind of agenda. Yeah. If we look like the whole messianic bullshit that is going around, I mean, we are exactly in there. Yeah. So if even a small group had a kind of idea to go into a certain kind of revelation, or I don't know what, they could manipulate it maybe over 100, or maybe they could change everything. They can change history of whole humanity in only 3 generations, and nobody remembers anything. It's exactly what happened like with the whole Germanic mythology, created 100% by Nazis. Yeah. So now like a lot of people, they are like behind this Germanic movement without even realizing that it is just manipulated stuff. All dates are changed, names are changed, gods are changed. This is Mitra. You know the Mitra cult? Mitra, yeah?
No.
Mitra.
Sorry.
Mitra.
Who?
This is METHA. This is kind of they found them everywhere, from Middle East to Europe, everywhere, and this is always kind of, they only found some little caves where they make some ceremonies, but you find is the cap of the Statue of Liberty. This is the symbol of Mitra, and then you find it on the cap of French Revolution. You know, Marianne, who have the red cap. You find the red cap on the on the human rights. This is the cult of Mitra, is called. And they made since long time, and this probably is the Templar who, because they had to go under hiding because they was worshipping Baphomet. And this is exactly the same, it's the same idea. It is the idea that life in itself is a danger, it is bad, we are living in hell, and we have to go into, yeah. But this is the whole mental conditioning we all went through. And we had the same thought, Danny. We had exactly the same thought. We thought really that a lion is really a bad boy, you know. And a lot of people think that today. But what he is doing, I mean, he can walk beside the gazelle without problem if he is not hungry. Yeah. So he will not just kill. They, animals who eat animals, they never kill just animals and walk away. Never. They kill to eat. We don't even have the tools to kill. Yeah. How we would kill even a cow. Yeah. We can't. It's impossible. We don't have the tools for it. So it doesn't make sense that people are eating meat. But this whole idea of eating meat comes from cannibalism, because it is pure cannibalism. Yeah, if you eat your brothers, animals, yeah, it is cannibalism. And this comes from Cain, from the Canaanites. So this is the whole cult that is going on and hidden in plain sight everywhere. Freemasonry, Satanism, witchcraft, and all these different cults. And they are full of it, and they are all over. So this is a widespread idea that life in itself is a danger. And this is the idea of Klaus Schwab. Yeah, Klaus Schwab with the Great Reset. This is exactly the same idea. They want to kill the dead. Yeah, they want to eliminate the dead through artificial thing. Maybe they go in the other direction because they think to have a life without suffering would be possible to have that in a virtual reality, like you are saying. This would be the virtual reality everybody is talking about. That is not going on now, but they want to create it. This is the agenda of 2045. Kurzweil. They want eternal life in a computer simulation. This is for real, and this is the kind of idea they set in people's mind to give up life, to give up all what is going on, the animals, the love, the compassion, the great things that is really going on, and get lost more and more. I fully agree with you. It became very cruel. People are suffering, but even the illnesses, the most of the illness, people are suffering because they have the wrong medication. They have the wrong idea about the illness. I mean, they discovered so much illness in the last hundred of years. This come from different poison we have in the alimentation, and today they just put nanotubes and nano thing in everything, in the vaccine and in everything, and they accept it. Yeah, today they don't even have, before for the mercury and for the aluminium, they had at least some certain level. For nanotechnology, they don't even have any kind of level what is accepted or not. Glyphosate, glyphosate, fully nanotechnology, all this stuff.
What was that you just said about, what was that?
Roundup, they put it in the Roundup, you know. It's glyphosate, like this Monsanto stuff. This is very poisonous. It's burning the floor, and this is nanotechnology. And this is accepted in Europe. They just put it all over. Even in Switzerland, they just put it all over. Nobody asks any questions. And this is where we make the real suffering. But life in itself is no suffering.
I guess, you know, I think we should probably have another conversation.
That's good.
Because it's gone on quite long. And I, you know, I'll think about what you have to say, you know, what you said, and I'll also, you know, discuss it with a close friend of mine that's on the same page as me. I certainly can recognize that, you know, there's a lot of crazy people, that people who are in control, who are not. I think we both agree that that the people who are the front people are not the ones that are in control. They're just the ones that like to be in front of the screen. Yeah, they're the newsreaders, really.
Yeah, but even they just suggest in what we see, the real manipulation is happening through the manipulated. So it is almost because it is the same like the responsibility about the one who gives the order and the order followers. So the ones who have the full responsibility is the order follower. Yeah. So this is the same deal. So the one who's suggesting, like the politicians, and the one who are just twisting people's mind, that they manipulate themselves. This is even worse. Yeah. So they are not really in control. The control is because we think they are powerful. Again, but it is twisted. It is twisted to a large, so huge scale, and that's why the suffering that is going on, we don't see that in life. We see that definitely in the system, in the whole corruption, in the ego, in the whole division, frustration.
Okay, well, I see it, and I'm saying, and that's where I think we should probably call. It's quite late for me here, and I think we should probably call the conversation to an end. And I think that's where we can pick it up next time.
Okay.
Is that, you know, that we have a fundamental difference, and that is that we both see, you know, very quite acutely, that the system is just so cruel. You know, it's full of cruelty and destruction of the mind, destruction of the body, and we, you know, we both see that. But where we differ is that you say that you don't see any cruelty or any cruelty in life, and I do. And I guess that's where we differ, and you label that as satanic. And
no, because if life in itself is bad, I mean, it is satanic. Satanic is not God or Satan. Satanic is against life itself. So if you think life in itself it's bad, it is a satanic thought.
I think sentience. Put it this way: I personally find the idea of sentience really, really problematic. I find it really problematic because I'm very sensitive to. I'm just a sensitive soul, and I'm sensitive to people or animals having to put up with terrible pain and suffering, and therefore that's why I see it fault. You know, I see the whole idea of sentience as I can't see why that's okay.
But can you make the difference between emotions and feelings?
Okay, so again, I think we should pick up on that next time.
But I think about it.
I don't think you explained it properly at all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but just think. But if there's two words, there's two different things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
can also say.
I think we need to delve into that next time much more deeply, because I think that's an interesting point.
No problem.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Love you, bro. Bye-bye.
Okay.
So, where we was?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just sort of going to start with a couple of things I just want to understand more. And in the last conversation, you said that you were no longer using the word I, but you were using the word we. What did you mean by that? Why have you done
We,
that?
if before we are here, there is life. And
Yeah.
without life, without breathing, without air, without food, with everything that exists, we could not be here.
Right.
Therefore, if we put ourselves through I in front of this, then we are like the judge or the one who say how things have to work. But that's not how things work. Life in itself, I mean, if you say, no, I decide to stop breathing, but I want to continue to live, it doesn't work. So therefore, all the sharing since now 2014, we really decided that we don't longer put ourselves in front of everything, but we put ourselves into everything that exists. Therefore, we give life itself doesn't have a voice, but it is always destroyed. Animals, like what you are doing, to also give animals who can't talk a voice to people who need words to comprehend what they are not comprehending or they don't want to see, right? So in the I, in the lie is a I, yeah? In the middle of the lie is a I,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
as the all-seeing I. This is the ego. This is the top of the pyramid. Is not them, is not the Jesuit, is not the Jew, is not the Kabbalist, is not the Satanist, is our ego, is on the top of the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what is used against us. Because if we put the ego in the top of the pyramid, we only can be under, and we have to lift the pyramid. And this is exactly how the system works. So every politician, every guru, every cult leader, every scientist, or everyone who have feed his ego through education or study or I don't know what, he's just building his ego because he's thinking to have something more than everybody else. Do you know the movie The Gods Fall from the Head or something like that, when somebody put a cola bottle out of the plane and it goes to this village? You never see that? They never see that. So the village is like pure innocent and everything, and a pilot just drop a cola bottle out of the window.
Yeah.
And somebody find it, and it is only one cola bottle. So the whole tribe have to, everyone finds a useful tool, so they use it to scrap it, to everything, but there is only one, and they start to dispute because there is something that was not before there, what everyone had, because everyone that is in life is available for everyone, and nobody can take it for himself. And this is the same how the landlords start, how the whole possession of this is my land, but earth never give the permission to be possessed. So this is the whole illusion. It's not them, it's not the politician, it's not Bill Gates. They are feed by the same pyramid, the all-seeing I, the ego over them, and they have this confusion, and that's why they have to feed it all the time. And this is how the system works. A pyramid, you only, when you are front of the pyramid, you can only see one side. You don't see the three other side of the pyramid. So you try to climb, that you have like a kind of power over others, but anytime you climb a step up, you need some people who believe in you, who think you are something more worth, and there you feed your ego, because you feed your ego through the energy of others. So that's why the reason that we are just choosing to open our mouth to give life a reason or a voice. But this is not arrogance, this is full responsibility, and a huge responsibility, because we have to question everything what comes out of the mouth, if this really fits with life, or if it's just a personal opinion or an idea. That's why we don't share opinion. We really try to put everything in fact and verifiable fact, that everyone can anytime verify it himself. Because if it's not the case, we are just inventing another story or another fairy tale. Yeah. So this is how we bring people into rabbit hole. And this is the whole part. You told me last time that you think this is all very complicated, but we just told you that the purpose of life is to live a life, and this was not enough. So that's why we have to explain the whole complication, why we can't just live a life without making all these complications and all these things. And what we see, the result we see, there is more complication than clarity, and more and more. And this is what is building up in this way.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thanks for explaining that. You spoke just now, and you spoke before last time about the fact that you've taken full responsibility, and I'm not sure I completely understand what you mean by that. You've taken responsibility for your experience, your emotions, and you also said there was a difference between, in your idea, in your mind, there's a difference between feelings and emotions. So maybe you want to cover both of those questions. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the first question was? I get caught up in
what do you mean when you say you've taken complete responsibility since 2014?
So the full responsibility means we assume all the thoughts, all the words, all the feelings, and all the actions and all the consequences that is going from thought to feelings, words, and actions. But anytime we do something and we do harm, we fix it, because the purpose is not to destroy, the purpose is to create, or at least not to destroy already. This is already where we want to go. Now, we agree with you. We use internet. We use, well, since 1 year, I went not out of the house. Oh, I went out of the house by walk, but I didn't use any car, any nothing. But we also use the whole thing. But the purpose of using the system today, 100% with everything that we're doing, if we do music, if we chat, if we even talk with you, even if the interaction with the people we have is always the purpose to go out of this illusion. There's no more distraction, or there's no more like doing things that have no purpose for life. And more, we just see that everything that is distraction is just sucking up our energy. So the full responsibility is quite simple to take, but then to do it, to comprehend that where start, what kind of thought do we think? Where comes the influence? Is there an influence? Do we have emotional attachments to a kind of thought or an outcome of thought? Do we defend different thoughts, any kind? Where some people, they say, yeah, there's a universe. And if you start to talk about, if you question the universe, have you ever visited the universe? Yeah, no, never. What is the universe? And they show this picture of the universe. And this is the same picture somebody painted in 65. The same picture in 65. And they was not even pretend to go to the moon before. So they painted from within the universe, they painted the universe. So this is a kind of huge ritual the people are attached to. And only because of a word. It's not only word, because the universe is large. And people can put in the universe whatever they want. The world, the people, the animals, or just the stars, or the Milky Way, or the solar system. So it's extremely vast, but people have their own opinion, but nobody visits the universe anyway. So any kind of thought, that it could be system, it could be government, it could be to not name the word that we are not allowed to word, but the current situation, if you question even what is really going on, and if it's even something there that would kill people, people are just get upset. And this is the emotional attachments and to go through emotion, the difference between emotion and feelings. The feelings is what we can touch, feel, sense, see. There's more senses than the 5 senses what they give us. They just try to limit again, and our senses are disturbed. So our senses are not fully operational. You said you have issues with sense, but we think if we would even be more sensitive, we would break down with all the harm that is going on. If somebody is really clean and he would come to London, or even just in the small village we have here, he would not get it. The car, the house, all the buildings, all the thing, it would be, distortion would be just too much. He would maybe just die, or he would maybe eat one hamburger, he would just die because he could not take it. So why can we take it? It is because it is like raindrop falling on us. Yeah, some they see the raindrops and the other just get wet, and so we just start to watch the raindrops and to make the difference again between feelings and emotions. Emotions, it is that emotion is E dash motion. The E, like the E from ego, E dash go, is the ecclesiastic indoctrination through school, through scientific, if it's philosophy, history, Bible, God, all this different thing is all from the church. Even the ABC 1, 2, 3 is from the church. So people can read and write since beginning of 1900. Before, people could not read. In 1800, there was 1% of people on the whole earth who could read and write. So through this whole indoctrination, we have this ego that fixed the go, our walking, and the motion is our movement. So both are influenced by this mind control. It is pure trauma-based mind control, deceiving and then storing the bad situation, what they call the left and right brain. That's again scientific, complicated explaining things. But every deception that we have, it is a trauma that confuses thoughts, feelings, words, and action. And therefore, to take responsibility over that doesn't mean we get perfect right away. But this means we take all energy, life energy, to really get out of it, to remember really what the child is remembering. You know, like a baby, you saw your baby when it was small. It was like, but why? Because so much, they have so much sensitive, they are way more sensitive than what we have today. So we are stumped down in our sensitive, even that, and like to get reactions, emotional reactions always happen if the heart is crying out, yes, 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 this is it. And the mind, no, 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 no. And so this is always, people have, you witness, you are allowed yourself to have thoughts that maybe no one other have. You are used to do that.
Yeah.
Most people are not. Even if they start, if they start to have their thoughts like a little shaky, they panic. So already this is very important to just, how it is. I was used to put to abstractive thinking, like really abstractive thinking, like futuristic, imaginary, like really fantasy. Yeah, that was, but in this process, we often just turn the real situation just upside down, how it would be like if it would be the contrary. And through this, just twisting things like what we get, just twist them upside down and look at them. I was like, but this is it. This is not like they show us. It is always upside down. Everything is twisted. and maybe sometimes a couple of times twisted. So this is the whole taking responsibility about all the interactions, all the thoughts, all the feelings, and this is brutally to wake up on that and to really take responsibility, to realize from where all this manipulation comes. I vomit like for months to get that out. This is brutally heartbreaking bullshit that is sticking on us. It is a curse. It is really black magic. So every deception that not get resolved, or where we not get the clarity of the situation, gets stored like a black paint on our heart, and this is start to rotting the thing. And every time a subject comes a little bit close, we just and this is how the emotional reactions, people think they have like their safeguard or their bunker, but their bunker become the tank where they shoot and overall people. And this is exactly like this psychopathic thing, because psychopathy means the pathy means the illness of the soul. This is what psychopath means. So if you have a psychopath, this means his soul get completely destroyed. And before it get really psychopath, this is often children who come through rape. And this is what they do in the royalties. Yeah, the greatest son, the son of the king, the oldest son of the king, is always created through rape. You know, when the son of the king is married, is the father who gives the seed to the wife, because the oldest is always created through rape. And this is tradition in all these royal families. So the oldest is always like a psychopath. He is created in absence of love complete. So he didn't have any sense. See, he don't have sentiments. He can fake emotions because he's very clever. But this is what the absence of life is. And everything what takes us life away makes us too narcissistic, perverted, narcissistic psychopaths. And we can see it with people who get very angry. If you watch in their eyes, it's black. It's become black even with people who have blue eyes. My daughter have blue eyes. She had huge trauma. She almost suicided herself. Yeah, because her mother just threw her out, and there was like huge thing, and she had so much anger, so much deception that when she have blue eyes, clear blue eyes, and when she is angry, she have black eyes. This is the demonic possession that people have. A little long, sorry.
Well, okay, I've got a lot of questions for you.
Love questions.
You've done a lot of research over the years, clearly, and just hold on a second. There's someone at the door.
No problem. The research.
You've done a lot of research over the years. Yeah, I don't know if that includes a lot of book reading. Have you read lots of books? No. It's done mainly on the internet.
Well, we traveled a lot. Yeah, I traveled like over to really, and that was like I quickly comprehend that what is on internet mostly. I did research on Wikipedia, like over stories and thing. And then when I went into the country over stories, also like the whole situation, the political situation or the geopolitical situation. And I just read every day, 30 years, all the newspaper, the thing. I just follow up these little stories all the time.
Right.
So no book reading, life reading. This is what people reading.
So you've done all this research. You've definitely looked into into things like secret societies, the occult, the royal family, all the royal families, the big, the big financiers, etc. It seems to be from our conversation that you kind of think that you seem to think that you've actually kind of worked out how life works. You've worked out who's doing all this bad stuff. What you call it, you think that you know exactly what they're doing, you know who they are, and you know what life is, what the purpose of life is, and you've kind of figured it all out. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I comprehend.
Is that true? Is that what you think?
No. I'm learning every day, and I have no problem to change the way I'm putting out things. So the thing, as we told you, it is way more simple than people think, and you can look in everything. If we comprehend the function of the system, manipulation, the lie, the deception, there is always a structure with it. A simple example. Everything what is in the system requires time, space, and words. Yeah, because system. Hello, system. Where are you? We never can talk to the system, right? So it is a fiction. Do you agree? Can we talk? We can't talk to the system itself. The system includes a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we want to go out of the system, we have to know exactly where the system is coming. Right? So everything that starts with space, that means somewhere else, another moment, time. And if it's explained by words, then it's fictional. Every time. We can go outside here. You're in London, you're not here, but the ones who are here, we can go outside on the parking and verify that there is a tree. This is the simple way to verify if things exist or not, is to watch. And this is the difference between believing and knowing. So when you go in someone's house and you park your bike down on the road, even if you're attached solidly, if you're in the apartment, you believe that your bike is still there. The only way to know if the bike is still there is to go and watch. We lost this kind of simple logic to verify if something exists or not. And this is the purpose of the system, to confuse us all the time, to make us believe that there is something only because somebody told you, because you read it in a book, you hear it on the internet, or all this different kind of stuff. So everything that exists can be verified, not with time, space, and words, but with direct experience here and now. Everything. We can see the table is here. I have a cup of coffee. I have lemon water. We can verify the lighter. These are things we can verify. We can put the words on it. We can call it sock. We can call it lighter. That doesn't matter. It is when we drink water, we don't drink the word water, but we drink the liquid. So things are way more simple. And if we comprehend exactly where the system starts and how it is structured, and this is the same for a lie. There is no lie without time, space, and word. I can't make a gesture and lie to you. If I believe in a symbol, then we have already time, space included. Yeah. If a symbol would not make any effect if somebody didn't explain you what the symbol is. And this is also the different if you show a swastika or if you show a peace sign, and you ask people which one they choose, they would all choose the peace sign without even knowing what it really means. So this is the influence of symbol ABC 1, 2, 3, and the words that are attached or they're combined with all these spells, spelling words. Yeah, grammar comes from grimoire. Grimoire means the book of the calling the demons, grimoire. The grammarian is the magician. So we are in a full occult thing that is always systematic. Everything in the system we can recognize, like manipulation. How do we recognize manipulation? Do you know how to recognize a manipulation?
I think sometimes I'm like, yeah.
Do you see the patterns in manipulation?
Yeah, I mean, for example, I'll give you an example. You know, in advertising, I can see manipulation. I can figure out. I'm not saying I can figure out all manipulation, but I can see. So, for example, a nice example would be at the moment, the way they're advertising the jabbing, they're saying millions of people have had it. That's what the governments are advertising. Yeah, but that's manipulation, because that, you know, millions of people do all sorts of stupid things, right? Doesn't make it clever, but that's a manipulation. That's a classic. You know, that's what marketeers do. That's what they're paid to do, and that's what governments do as well. They manipulate. So those type of manipulations, yes, I think I'm aware of, but I'm surely I'm not aware of all types of manipulations. I'm sure there's lots of different types of manipulations, and some of them I am, and some of them I'm not. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, the basics of a manipulation is if something is manipulated, then it's not in the original state no more. So to see the manipulation, we need to compare it with the original, right? Do you agree? I mean, there is original, and if you manipulate, if you condition something, then it's no longer in the state of manipulation. Let's say there is a wild river, and you start to put like barriers and stuff, and so the river is manipulated. Is not flowing in the natural state. Would you agree with that?
So yeah, so let's say I'll go with you. I mean, I'm not really sure where you're going with this, but yes, so you need to manipulation is from the original, and therefore you need to know what the original is. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's the basic of manipulation. If you manipulate, then you manipulate something and you bring it out of the original state. If it's conditioning, if it's manipulating, if it's transforming, if it's cooking, if it's heating, no matter what, if you transform it out of the original state, it is manipulated.
Okay.
I mean, this is the logical fact of something that is manipulated. It is no longer original. And we cannot say, this is how simple things are.
I understand. Okay, so you've said quite a lot already, and you know, and I'm you know, I don't mind you sharing your ideas in this discussion. It's interesting. But the purpose of our conversation was really to focus on, you know, on reproduction. And you see, all that you say makes me even feel more, you know, makes even more sense to me that we shouldn't be bringing people into existence. And
why?
One of the things, well, I'll tell you in a minute. But one of the things that I want to go back, though, you know, having said all that, I want to go back to the question of why you had your children, because you kind of flitted over it last time we had a conversation, last time we talked, and we just got drawn away completely. Yeah, from what I understood, you said that you had your children so that they could be witness to life and part of life, or something like that. Maybe you can just reiterate that. And also, I want to just, I want to ask you, are you with their mother?
No, no long.
You're not with their mother. And when you had them 20 years ago and 14 years ago, or 21 years ago and 15 years ago, did you delve deeply and explore deeply what you were doing, think about it really carefully, and decide to do it because of the reason that you said before?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you, because it sounds to me like you had some kind of epiphany in 2014, which was well after they were born, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you actually, did you have those conversations with your partner? And what did you, if you could just recap on why you actually had the children then, and did you, what conversations were you having with your partner? And yeah.
The purpose of life is to live the life. Even if this sounds complicated to you, if you can prove me wrong, then prove me wrong. Because if we don't experience life, there is no life, and nobody can prove it, because nobody experienced absence of man on earth. So nobody can say that if we don't experience life, that there would be any kind of life. That's the point. That's the purpose of life. And that's the purpose why we made kids. That life have more.
So what you're saying is that you got together with your partner, yeah, and you had a discussion.
But are you listening, or you just want to hear what you already think about it? You don't go into the question of the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to live a life without destroying life. Could it be something else? Can you prove me something that would make this argument invalid?
So you're saying the purpose of life is to live life without harming anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Okay. Let me deal with that. Right. But I cannot see how. I mean, firstly, have your children harmed anything or anyone since they've been here?
This is another. This is another subject now.
Why?
Now you're switching the subject.
Why? If the purpose of life is to live life without harming anything, you're basically bringing children into people into existence where that's not possible. Because the way life is set up, the way life is set up, you will harm other things.
No, this is what you think.
Even without the system, if you walk outside, you might step on a fly.
That's bullshit. This is not what is going on. This is how you made your mind up about life. But this is what we told you last time. If you have an issue with what life is proposing you are twisting life in a way that how you want to see life. We are looking at life how life is, and we are not harming life if we just live on earth and don't do harm.
Right.
This is not harm.
So you are denying that you are harming any life. I mean, I don't know, have you harmed any life since you came to this idea? Have you managed not to harm any life? You're saying you don't harm. I'm assuming that you don't eat animal products, right? Which is, neither do I, right? But, even without eating animal products, I presume you used to eat animal products, probably because you didn't know any better. Or I don't know, maybe your parents were vegans, but I doubt that, right? So, but you're saying that I don't know for how long it is that you've lived like this and you've understood this, right? Are you saying that you've known this for, you've actually articulated this to yourself a long time ago, and you chose to live a life where you're not harming anyone, or that you think you're not harming anyone? I would disagree with that. I would challenge that. I think that you are involved in the system which harms a huge amount of people and things, and it's almost impossible to get away from it.
But if you would listen what we are saying, from the beginning, we told you we were all conditioned,
right?
And to take responsibility is to stop it,
right?
And this is what we are doing.
Great.
For the moment, we are
right.
here. But let me tell you why we are here and why we are still participating within the system on internet and so on.
Yes.
We told you already, the biggest was so traumatized from the mother that she almost suicided herself. Right. That's why we came back into the system with the legal name and all that bullshit. But we was like, for 3 years, we was completely out of the radar. We was ready to buy some land in Spain and just grow food there without anything and don't do harm whatsoever. This is where we are going. And there are different steps to go there. And all the harm we are planted in it, but this is the part of the system that conditions the huge amount of generations before us, that we are just set in a life where we do exactly all the harm that you are saying. But if we today just resign and say, yeah, because we are in this situation and we are doing harm and so on, just let's finish with this life because it is too hard. This is what you're doing, Danny. This is completely resigning life in itself, only because I'm sure you made a lot of thoughts to come to this conclusion, what you have today. But we see the frustration of your life. This is how you made up today your point of view to see life, how life is cruel. But this is because you don't want to take responsibility. This is a huge difference.
Could be. It could be, yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to, just 1 second, okay. Firstly, it's important for me right now to just remember to engage in my practice of just taking a little time out, because, you know, it's easy for me to get caught up in what you're saying right now. So I'm just gonna
but let me fix why. No, but just let me check it. Just let me check.
You can carry on talking, but I'm going to take a 30-second break now. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to say before I come back to what I was asking before?
Yeah, I think you're making judgment on the way you are looking at us. And this is the wrong way to even listen to what we are saying. Because if you would just take away the judgment or the evaluation if this is good or bad or correct or right, we are not here to preach anything. And if you would just take this away, if you think this is good, what Jabba does or not, we don't care. We are just...
What Jabba what, sorry?
What Jabba is saying, if you think this is good or correct or right or wrong, we don't care.
I don't care either. I don't care.
But that's why
I think the same with me.
But that's why I'm just asking you,
whatever you like. You're just another guy I'm talking to, that's all.
Yeah, but don't evaluate. Don't judge. If you say that you think what we are doing or what we are saying is...
Yes.
Then
I'm questioning what
exactly, but this is the challenge we want to give to you.
Yes.
Look at things and don't evaluate, because you see, we are just giving you all the love of the life to you, because I definitely feel that I observe you since long time, and if I had something, I would try to contact you, but I didn't see it. But in the last videos, I see how you get kind of frustrated. I just feel it, that it is more frustration now than what it was when you start with the law of police and all that. Then it was more kind. It was more unconditional how you talk to the people. Really, this maybe I'm wrong, but I see how you talked, like all the last video you did, the people in a row before the shop, like 4 or 5 years ago, you would make a joke of what they are doing. But today you do the evaluation of their consciousness or unconsciousness. And this is just maybe just our observation, but we see that there is more angry in what you're doing. And we don't know where this frustration is coming from, but if you are really there to just make your person, like, as you say, you make your experimentalist, social experimentalist, perfect. But now you make it personal. We just feel it that now you get pissed off of people who don't want to listen, make the same shit, even worse than what they did years before. And there is where we are completely stop our judgment or evaluation of what people are doing. We are observing, we analyze, we comment, but who we are to evaluate or judge someone's doing, even if it's completely on the contrary what we are doing. But as brother and in the love of life, and that everyone should be not in frustration, we tell you this. That's why we take the time. What we have to gain, yeah. If we really want to, we could interview Danny Shine, we would publish the video right away. But no, we have to respect from you. Even if this stays under us, that's okay. That's really okay. We have nothing to gain, nothing to sell, really not. But we have all to give. And if somebody wants to receive it, we just give it. But
I hear you. You.
Okay. So you don't need to put it in any box, you know, just take it as maybe as inspiration. Maybe you just,
I mean, I'm not sure that I'm not sure that there's been, I mean, there's definitely been a change in me, a big change in me since I've discovered the ideas of antinatalism. Definitely been a big change. I don't know if it's true that, the last video was any such a big difference from the others. At times, that's number one. Number two,
just to say, we saw this one and we saw a couple of other videos. We didn't follow all the videos. Okay. Just to say, we don't make anything. I just felt it like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I there's a there are different ideas that I think it's possible to I think it's okay. I think anger has its place. I think frustration has its place. I think it has its place and has its time. I think that or on the one hand, I can see, I appreciate that nobody is to blame for anything, because it's not it's not our fault that we've been so heavily deceived. I know the level of deception. I know up to a degree. You understand it more than I do. But of course, these people standing in the queue, I mean, they're not standing there because they chose to stand there. They stand there because they've been manipulated.
But they don't know it.
I know.
They hear you the first time, and this is also when we come to people, we always try to make it like us, not neutral is a bullshit word, but just to you stand in front of someone who never hear of anything what we are talking about, nothing. And if you are already in a precondition and you stand there and you expect that these people who buy something would comprehend even something more, the only thing is, do they really get something out of it? Because in later videos, I really think people just stand there like the mother you ask out of the McDonald's. Yeah, if she make the kids really happy, this kind of thing, make them think, So I think
Yeah,
these
I mean,
people
the
with
thing, I understand that, and what I'm saying is that I think that on the one hand, I think I can hold in my consciousness the idea, and it falls in and out, yeah, but the idea that no one is to blame, and I can also be, I think it's also okay sometimes to be frustrated or angry or whatever it is, right? I think that's all right, but I want to come back to this question in hand, right? I mean, I still don't. I'm not clear. I'm not clear that when you decided when you consciously decided to have unprotected sex, so that you were and planned to have your children. Yeah, you're saying that you were already aware that the purpose of life, in your understanding, is to live life without harming other people, right,
Mhm.
and other living beings. Yeah, that's the purpose of life. You were aware of that, and you therefore felt that you should create more of it. That you should create more life, so that life should come here and not harm anybody else. And you were you at all aware of the possibilities of that life being harmed itself?
Oh, very, very much even already there.
You were aware before you did it that that life that you were going to create
I mean,
could experience a lot of harm, and
yeah,
obviously did
sure.
experience. One of them you've told me already has
Yeah,
experienced
but by her own mother, the one. Mhm.
that it would be not necessarily easy for them to live life without harming other people, but you nevertheless felt the desire, the need, or you thought it was the right thing to do to create another life. Why? I
Mhm.
still don't understand why.
Because life works
Because
like that.
life goes on. Life goes on whether you decide to create another life or not. So why did you do it?
Because life works like that. Now, this is the simple answer. Now, do you want me to explain the whole complication why people don't see it anymore? That will already go further on. The original of life, people call it nature. Why? Are we are not nature? So there is already a division between us and life itself. But if we observe the original of life in the forest, if you live with, we lived in the forest, we lived like all the time, we lived in the forest. It's only the last 2 years that I'm living in an apartment. Before it was always, we had garden and I always straight up in the nature. I sleep alone in middle of the night in the nature. I had a horse. We was. This is how nature works. So this is the simple answer why we
Right.
have kids. This is
Right.
because we observe the original, and we do like the original is doing. There
Right.
is
So
no
that's what
harm.
you actually did. You consciously did that with your partner. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm just looking. Okay. So I'm still left with a question, with a big question, or a couple of questions around this, right? So let's say you're right, yeah, you're right about all that you've discovered about about the satanic, as you call it, the satanic forces that are out there, the all the royal families and the manipulation that comes from I mean, I'm aware of the huge amount of manipulation, and this year has been even more manipulation of people, right? And you're aware of all these forces, yeah? Why on earth would you? Okay, let me ask you a question. You're aware of all these forces. Do you think it's a good thing that these people, yeah, that are doing the manipulation? Do you think it's a good thing that they are reproducing? Yeah. Do you think there's a limit to how much they should be reproducing? Do you think it's a good idea that, let's say, for example, in the community of in the religion of my upbringing, Judaism, that the ultra Orthodox Jews have an average of 8 children each? Do you think that's do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that it's a good idea that all these people who have been so badly manipulated, you know, the average person, right, who's been so badly manipulated and lives a, you know, a life of low vibration, eating really terrible food, you know, maybe alcoholics, or maybe, I don't know what, I don't know, there are, you know, I don't want to distinguish certain groups of people, but whatever, you know, people who have been so badly manipulated and controlled, and they're living, you know, whatever, they're not living optimum lives, let's say. Yeah. Do you think it's good that these people are reproducing? Or do you think that actually it'd be better if some people had less or no children?
Who are we to decide of the life of somebody else?
I think that's a ridiculous. I think that's a ridiculous answer. What do you mean?
Okay,
but
this is again. This is a judgment.
No.
Let me. Okay, this is okay.
Okay,
if
so
you think that.
Okay,
but
so
let
me get this right. Let me get this right. Yeah, you don't. You don't.
But now you don't. You judge me, and then you don't let me answer really the question.
Okay, go on.
You know, this is kind of
yeah, no, go on, answer the question. That's fine. Okay. You can answer the question. Go for it.
So there is responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I take full responsibility about what I'm doing,
yeah,
I have also it would be irresponsible if I would feel responsible for someone else.
Mm.
This is part of the ego arrogance of people who think that they can think for someone else and choose for someone else. And in the end, if I would do that, then I would become the guru, then I would become the leader, then I would to make politics, then I would make all this bullshit. But this is exactly where my responsibility stops, to tell other people what they should do or not. Now, if we just think logically, if every person have average of 4 people, we would definitely be way too much people. But today, actually, 60% of American households don't have children. You will be happy about this news.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, but this is again, this is very sad to be even happy about something like that, because in the end, what if, Danny, if today we are even less than 1 billion people? You are happy about that?
Yeah, fine. Why not?
Okay.
Why should I not be happy about it?
But let me ask a simple question.
Yeah.
Have you given up life?
Have I given up life? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, simple question.
Have I given up life? Okay, let me have 30 seconds on that. I'm not sure what you mean by have I given up life? Have I given up on life? You mean have I given up on life? Have I given up with life? What does it mean, have I given up? I'm still here. I'm still here doing...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
what do you mean,
the question is why?
What's that?
Because if you think that you're doing harm to Earth, why you didn't suicide yourself?
Yeah, I mean...
Because if... No, yeah, but I mean, this is a legitimate question, because the antinatalism, they are for sterilization, they are for abortion, even to the age of 9 months, even after birth in America. No, let me finish.
Yeah.
This is where all this thing is going. And in the end, if we just tell you that if you don't have children anymore, then it's no more life there. Can you prove the contrary of this argument? Is there any, or have we any way to prove that life in itself would continue if we would not be here? So if we would stop procreating and just die altogether, and there would not be no more human on Earth. So if there is no more life, would you take this risk that there would be no more life at all?
I mean, the thing is, again, I just don't really understand why you're asking me that question. It's irrelevant, because
it is very relevant. Because
hold on a second, please. I don't understand why you're asking me the question, because I don't have the power, right? I don't have the power to stop anybody, really. I don't have the power to make anybody do anything. I mean, I wasn't even able to persuade my own daughter, right, not to have the jab, right? So, I can't even persuade. I can't get anyone to do anything. Yeah, I can talk on the street.
Is manipulation.
I can talk on the street, and make people laugh and make people think, and maybe they'll change something, and maybe they won't. Yeah, but it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether it's irrelevant in a way. It's irrelevant whether I would, have a problem with life not continuing here, right? But I'm gonna answer your question with this. What you're basically I would say you've accused me of being dangerous. Yeah. In the last discussion, you said I was dangerous. Yeah.
No accusation. This is a fact.
Okay, it's a fact.
For life,
you're saying the fact that I'm dangerous, okay?
No,
but
no. Don't put the words in our mouth. We say,
yes,
if you continue to tell people,
yes,
this illusion of antinatalism,
yes,
this is dangerous for life itself. Right. You become danger of life, but this is a fact. This is not my opinion. This is not my judgment. Yeah, this is just a fact.
Well, let me put this way. You say I'm a danger, right?
You become a danger if you do that.
I'm dangerous if I continue doing this, yeah? But one of the guys on the show that you watched, he said that he was torn because really deep down, he knows that there's no justification for reproducing and that he should instead adopt. So he's finding it hard to override his conditioning as he comes from a culture where many people have big families. And you think I'm a danger in this situation, but actually, I think you are the danger. Okay. You and all the biophiliacs, right?
Okay.
Who suffer from the condition of loving life, who are all in such deep denial.
No, love is not.
You are suffering. Let me finish. You are all in such deep denial that you are a danger to both the children or the child or the children that this man might adopt and help.
Okay, but now you are Danny. Now you need to prove the fact because you are accusing us.
Are you going to let me finish?
No, because now you're putting accusation of accusation. Now we want to prove of fact that we are a danger for our kids. Yeah, because this is an accusation we don't accept. And now
you are a danger to your kids because you brought your kids into harm's way.
Okay, this is a lie.
You don't want to admit it.
This is a lie. Now you're a liar.
Yes, you did. You brought them into harm's way, and
you're a liar. Then this is Satanism. What you're doing.
You brought them into
this is manipulation and Satanism.
Environment where you brought. I mean, you said it yourself. You've said it
Satanism.
You said it.
You gave up life. This is pure Satanism.
You've said it yourself. Now you can call it Satanism, right?
That's no. This is Satan. Satanism is against life, and you working against life with this argument.
What is Satanism?
Against life. Exactly what you are doing.
Okay, fine. Then you can call it what you like. But you see,
this is what it is. This is what it is. This is dead worshipping, bro. This is pure cabalistic dead worshipping.
Yeah, you can call it what you like. I don't mind.
No. This is what it is.
That's fine.
We don't call it.
That's word.
We don't call it. But you work against life, and you are the danger of life. If you hate life, then of course I'm the danger of your theory. This is what it is. But now you are a liar to call me a danger.
No. I can prove you're a danger, right?
Prove it.
Because you are a danger.
Proof of fact, Danny. Now this is accusation we don't accept.
Okay.
Now you are exposing yourself to be a huge liar. Yeah, you can manipulate how you want. We want to prove of fact. First party.
The thing is
proof of fact is first party. Your claim is a lie. Your claim is a lie. Now we are giving you back all the bullshit you are trying to make through your lie.
Okay.
Your judgment and your manipulation.
I know. I mean,
and now you're harming yourself.
Obviously, you don't want
with
to
this. You're harming not only.
That's really funny because you claim that you've taken full responsibility, but you don't want to.
I make you responsible for your life.
Responsibility
for
being.
Prove it. Prove it. First party that we are
It's basic logic.
No, this is your claim.
You are responsible.
Claim is a claim. Proof of fact is proof of fact.
Okay.
Prove it.
I'm going to. If you
A proof is a no.
I'll
Proof is first party, Danny. Your word, your thought, you believe is a lie if you can't prove it first party.
Fine. Well, I don't
This
know.
is how.
I don't really.
This is how life works,
what you're
Danny.
talking about by proving it. What do you mean?
Okay, proof of fact.
To you,
okay, I tell you what the proof of fact is.
Why I think
proof of fact. Proof of fact. Here outside is a tree.
Yeah.
You can come from London to see the proof of fact that outside here is a tree. I made a claim. You can't come to prove it. Chaba is real. He is here. He is talking to you. This is proof of fact, first party. If you make a claim, you have to prove it first party. Where is the tree? We don't want your claim, Danny. Where is the danger now? You are the danger now.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yes.
And I'm trying to explain to you why I think that I'm not a danger. I'm quite the opposite.
Yeah, but you can explain what you want. This is a claim.
I'm explaining why you are.
A claim is a claim, right? Danny. This is not proof of fact.
Because you haven't taken responsibility for the.
I have taken prove it.
Well,
again, a claim.
I'm going to explain. I'm trying to explain.
No, but explain. I don't mind. You know, you can't just throw something in someone's thing. And then just mix it up. This is completely strawman argument, what you are doing. This is strawman argument. This is exactly how the system works. This is exactly how the manipulation works. This is exactly how the psychopaths manipulate. And now you're using exactly the same because you are lack of argument. You can't prove it. You just have your ideas and you made your mind up. You are a liar if you're saying that somebody have to come and prove it you're wrong, because you don't want to see the proof. You are the missionary now today of your own ideas. Yes, but this is what you're doing now, because you make claims about us that we are a danger. Your claim, your words is not a proof of fact.
I know that, yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, my words are not a proof of fact, correct?
Exactly.
And neither are your words proof of fact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Proof of fact is proof of fact. Is when everybody can verify it. I mean, and now you making the claim, and this makes you to a liar, Danny.
I don't know why.
This is exactly how you confused you are, how frustrated of life you are to put someone in a position so you can accuse him. This is exactly the manipulation the system is doing.
Right.
Yeah, but we have it now on tape, Danny. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the problem. If you are not honest and you start to make your ideas and your mission on your own thoughts, that you get manipulated but through your own thoughts, and then you make a claim about others to tell them even that they are dangerous, prove it.
Okay.
Well, you are proof. We can prove it that you are dangerous for life because you work against life. This is against life. You have given up life. But if you have given up life, why you are still here, Danny? You claim that life, what you are doing in life, is making harm. Stop doing harm and put the end to it right now. This is what you should do if you would really be in your argument, Danny. This is your responsibility. But now to open your mouth to even manipulate others who trust you into this dark hole where you are frustrated, this is where you manipulate people. And a lot of people trust you. So do whatever you want, Danny. This is your free will to do it so. But we were very clear without, okay? So prove it, or admit that you are completely in a hole, black hole, where you don't want to get out of it, and you don't want to change your mind. So don't tell people that somebody can come with argument if you just throw away all the arguments, like the judge is doing. When you come even with proof of facts, they just throw it out of the table. Exactly how you are telling, oh, this is not correct, that the judge, you are doing exactly the same. This is how the system works. This is how manipulation works. This is how all the people get manipulated. And the manipulation is not coming from over there.
Manipulation comes from the ego, all-seeing eye, the pyramid. This is what is really going on, Danny. So think about yourself. If you want to work against life, if you are really have a problem with life, why you are still here? Why you even try to convince other to follow your way of doing things? Yeah. Give me one reason. One reason.
Why I'm still here?
No, why you talk to the people if you have already abundant life and you think this is all bullshit? The people killing already themselves. Why you need to even give them a motivation for it? Because we are working things 30 years that people don't give up their life.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why have you been doing that?
Yeah, you're completely suicidal, mental suicidal. You're suicidal, Danny. And you. Anything that we are saying about life, you don't get it because you reject it.
No,
you have given up life.
I can prove. Okay, so let me come back to you with what you're saying about giving up on life. Yeah, what you want is you want famine, cancer, blindness,
bullshit,
volcanoes, earthquakes, child abuse, greed, poverty, war, depression, mental health problems, suicide, factory farming, the financial system, politicians,
you are a liar, and every lie is a curse.
Liars,
you will
judges, PR companies, floods, tsunamis.
Oh, you even need to read.
To go on
you even need to read, bro.
Forever, don't you?
You need to read.
That's what you want.
You need to read it up. You need to read it up.
Yeah, I wrote it before.
So dead in the head that you need to read it up.
Yeah, I wrote it before.
No, you are dead, Danny. You are completely dead, manipulated. Yeah, you can even not think about it. About your
I could, but I just wrote it down before.
This is bullshit.
I just wrote it
this
down
is all a lie, and every lie you are making, you're cursing yourself. Yeah, your children too.
Yeah,
and everyone who's trusting you, you're cursing. So continue to kill life as much as you want. We have enough proof of fact.
And you continue to keep it all going forevermore.
Oh yeah. Danny.
And let's
Danny,
have
and
more
you
people here.
continue.
More people here doing more harm. Right.
There are less people here than even in 30 years.
What's that?
Shut up. You are Eugenics. You are like you know what?
Why are you so angry?
Are you in a fraternity? No, we're giving you the bullshit back because what you are doing.
I thought you were taking full responsibility for your
full responsibility
right now.
Because life, we give a voice to life, and what you're hearing here is life in itself, and as much truth you never heard in yourself, in your life. So much honesty you never heard in your life, Danny, and you will never hear it again. Because you know you are so hypocrite and you don't even want to hear it. You don't want to hear it.
I'll tell
you don't want honesty. You don't want the truth. You are a hypocrite.
Can you give
Thanks a lot for making this interview.
The best way? I mean, according to what you're saying, probably best for me to kill myself, right? Can you give me
well, this is what you are saying. This is what you are saying, Danny. This is what you are saying from your own mouth. That if you are still here today, you are doing harm.
You think what I'm saying is so
you are doing harm, and you should kill yourself if you have given up life.
Right. Okay,
well,
so how do you think I should?
But this had you choose that.
Have you got an idea of how I can
do
it?
You choose that. You choose that, Danny. Yeah. You have already given up life because the suicide. The one who suicide himself, he suicide first in the head, and then he do the act, right?
Yeah.
Well, but what you are doing with this antinatalism is against life, and this is pure satanic. This is the satanic agenda. And maybe you should think about why all your education come from and why you think this like that. Satanic is against life.
Right. And so why is that bad? Why is it bad to be against
you
life?
Can't comprehend it because you have given up life.
No, I don't know why it's bad.
Exactly, because you're a Satanist.
I've looked at life and what I've looked around me and I've seen all these things, all the suffering that goes on in life. Yeah.
Okay.
And I would just suggest that you know.
Do you talk to your kids like that? Do you talk to your kids like that?
I don't know why you're getting so. Why are you getting so upset about it?
Because you are a life killer, and I will not kill my life energy with any kind of Satanist any longer.
Okay, fine.
Do you talk to your kids like that?
Let's end the
Did you told did you tell to your kids that you regret to have them?
Did I tell my kids I get to have them? No, I didn't say I regret. I don't think I've told them I regret to have them, but
Okay.
I do think they know
are you
that
going to do that?
I do think that they know.
Are you going to do that?
I mean, I think that they know that.
No.
No.
And Danny, look in the eyes and
Yes,
be honest if you're going to tell to your kids that you regret to having them.
Why do I have to look at you in the eye and do anything? I don't need
because you are not honest.
Okay, right now I'm going to count to 30 because I don't like your energy at all, and I will decide whether
you don't like honesty. That is all what you don't like.
Right. Yeah, of course. Honesty, of course, because you know the truth.
Because no, I never say that we know the truth. Let's say another lie from you. You like to manipulate, to twist the things, like you said. The ones who ask the question, you have the power, and you love to have the power. And why you can't have the power anymore, you get upset. That's why we're giving you back the whole mirror of your twisted mindset, brother.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
We wish you all the best, bro.